Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. It's time for Frozen in Place. Yeah, again, I've already got this scenario completed, but again, it was because OBS decided to crash on the day I tried to record it. And, yeah, I don't have the recording, so we're doing it again. We're going to operate Amtrak Acela Express number 2167 from Baltimore Penn Station to Washington Union Station, making an intermediate stop at BWI Airport. The dispatcher is unable to realign the switch at an interlocking, so expect delays while the issue is resolved. Let's go. Good evening. Tonight you'll be operating Acela Express number 2167 from Baltimore to Washington. Open the doors and allow boarding to commence. Well, that's easy enough. Yeah, it's winter. On my original attempt to record this, I actually made a point of pointing out the fact that in the Eastern time zone it's dark by 5 o'clock, and I could have predicted this being dark. And, of course, the fact that I've already played it kind of spoils the whole prediction, but I already knew coming into this scenario it was going to be a dark scenario. So needless to say, sorry guys, we got another dark one for you here. 7 in the evening, got another dark one. Nothing we can do. So we're going to have to deal with that. Let's look at the train before we depart. Acela number 2167 ready to depart Baltimore. Proceed on signal indication. Roger. Off into the dark of night we go. Now, something you may not notice unless I point it out, I went ahead and set the cruise control up to 125. I'm not going to actually use the cruise control because I'm going to save that for another time when we show off the Acela on its actual DLC. That's the time to show off all the features, you know? So we're going to show off the Acela in the future on that DLC, and we're going to try to poke around with other different features at that point, because at that point we'll be focused on just that train instead of also dealing with a train that doesn't want to speed up. But I wanted to use the cruise control to show you on the dial, because it's hard to see, and in fact I can't read it either unless I zoom in. So it's hard to see, but what I'll do for a second here is I'll make sure I'm losing speed here. There I go. Quick zoom in here. As we enter the St. John's Tunnel, you'll notice if I zoom in that the dial is at 125, or close enough to 125. That shows you, I can see my speed now on the thing as well. I can read that now, 28. Yay! There's my throttle again. And back to 29 and throttle off. So yeah, back to 28. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it this way now. More convenient. But yeah, you can see that where the dial was, it was located at the 125 mark or close enough to it. So because of that, you now know the maximum speed I can go on this entire journey. We're going to have a 125 segment. I'm going to bring the dial up to there at some point, or close to it, and you know that's the maximum I can go. So I believe we're now on the Wilson Street Tunnel. I didn't notice the tunnel changeover, but I see we're in a really long one here, so I think we are. Oh, because there's only the one indication, but I didn't see it on the screen either. I should note one thing about this cruise control knob. It will not actually stop you from going beyond where the spot is on the knob. It's only used for setting the speed you want to go, and then the train will maintain your speed. It's not like London to Brighton when I was playing the 377 and I was finally figured out how the cruise control knob worked on that, and that button was a little funky, let's just say that. Where the train would actually not allow you to go past the speed that was set. This one will let you go whatever speed you want to go, and you're responsible for maintaining the speed you want to go until you tell the computer, hey, set this speed for me, will you? Emerging from the Gilmore Street tunnel, we're now going under a very small tunnel. That is, I don't think it has a name, I just name it for the road that it goes under. I don't know if it was North Fulton Avenue, it was North something Avenue. I want to say the street name itself started with an F, so North Fulton Avenue sounds good. We'll go with it. CTC-1 dispatcher. CTC-1 train dispatcher to Acela 2167 Express. Over. This is 2167. Go ahead, dispatch. Over. We're having issues normalizing the 23 switch at Grove. A work crew has been sent to align it, but they won't arrive for some time. We'll contact you again shortly with additional information and instructions. Over. Roger, CTC-1. Over and out. We can go up to 45 miles per hour now. As we were doing that little distraction, we can now increase our speed. You can see we have a green signal, so we are clear to proceed. I think we're on a little bit of a downhill now, so I'm trying to watch it just a little bit as I get up to 50. I'm trying to watch it a little bit as I get up to 55. I don't want to speed into the 110 in an illegal fashion. Let's take the throttle off right now. This, I believe, is West Baltimore. So we're going to be entering the high-speed line before we reach Halethorpe. Okay, we're going to go up to at least 90 right now. Giving myself a little leeway to make sure I didn't speed right past the 90 by accident, because I knew I was coming into a 90 zone. There is our green signal. With that green signal, we fully join the high-speed line at this time. We now cross into a 105, which seems kind of pointless because it's a very small section. Might as well just make it 125 at this point. There is a 120 coming up. We're going to keep that in mind, so I can't go all the way to 120. There's another 125 following that, however. You can see I've got the throttle almost lined up with the red dial right now. Almost. We'll have our chance to touch the dial in a moment. Touch the dial. Hello. We have a downhill. We're going to watch ourselves for a second. Oh, we have a 120 coming up again. Okay, we can't touch the dial yet. So much for that. Wishful thinking will remain wishful. Let's just just dial that back a wee bit here. BWI Airport is now 3 miles away, so we're probably not going to get a chance to hit the 120 yet. In fact, we're going to be dropped to a 90 in a moment. So small brake application now just to get us down a little bit. Going to have to drop 30 miles off of our speed. Two and a half miles from BWI Airport, Baltimore, Washington International. Our expected arrival time is 7:30, 19:30, and 14 seconds. We're going to be there a minute early at this stage. And I think we're going to get down to our 90 just in time here. Very, very close. We're not going to increase after we enter the 120. There's no point doing so because the stop is right there. So for right now, we're going to just kind of coast at 90 for the time being. I'm not even going to worry about increasing back to 90. I'm just going to coast. As we enter the 120, we're going to start preparing to stop here. Yeah, start to stop. Stop to start, you know. So as we cross the 120 marker, it's time to start slowing down. So that's what I'm going to do. Minor brake application. Went to 40 by accident. I wanted 20. It's doing nothing. So I'm going to go to 40 now because now we're a little behind on the braking. We're doing okay here. Increasing that brake application again because I'm now at the differential I want to be at. I eased off for just another moment there. I'm going to do it again because I'm coming in at the speed I want to be at now. Going to get ready to open our doors. We're fully in the platform, so I've gone ahead and put on a 60% brake application at this time. The middle of our coaches, I think number 3 and 4, are going to be lined up with the platform here. So there are with the station building as it's shown on the HUD. So arrival at BWI Airport, track number 3. Leaving BWI Airport track 3, Acela 2167, okay to go, says the conductor. Our next stop is, I believe we're going to, based on the timing and points here, I believe we are stopping at New Carrollton today. So that seems to be our next stop. We're going by we're going by North Limits Grove, which appears to be a stop. Maybe that's our stop, not New Carrollton. So yeah, let me just review the itinerary. Yeah, we're not stopping at New Carrollton. No, we're stopping at North Limits Grove. CETC1 dispatcher to Acela Express 2167, over. This is 2167. Any luck with that switch? Over. We're still unable to normalize the switch, and the work crew is a few minutes away. You will stop and hold short of Grove until instructed otherwise. Over. Roger, CETC1. I'll hold short of the interlocking and await further instructions. Over and out. So we're going to be coming to a stop at Grove in about 5.5 miles from now. We're entering a 125 zone right now. Will we get a chance to touch the sky? Let's do it. Let's touch the dial. Best chance we're going to have to hit 125 today. I'm using the dial back just a little bit now as I get close to our limit. You see we're going to touch the dial here. Can I get to 125? Zoom in just a wee bit here. I did it. I got 125. I touched the dial. Well, let's do this. There you go. I touched the dial. So we're just going to go ahead and go at a fast speed now. Hey, good day to you, sir. We're being given a warning to drop to 45 up ahead. So we are starting to slow down. We are within 2 miles of that. Of course, if this was the ACS 64, we'd be, well, let's just say we'd be down at 45 by now. A, because we couldn't get up to the 125 before we actually had to slow down, and B, because the train wants you to slow down 2 miles ahead of the signal for some stupid reason. Realistic it might be, but silly it is in my opinion. Alright. So see, this is what you can do when you don't have suppression. You can just run the speed a little bit higher coming up to the new change in the speed, and then come to a stop. Now we have to come to a stop anyway, so I was going to say bring it down. We have to come to a stop anyway. We're going to treat the signal as a red signal. The reason we're going to treat it as a red signal is because in real life, I think it would be a red signal at this point. Because we've been ordered to stop short of Grove. And as a result, we're going to have to stop on that orange mark you see up ahead. So I'm coming in a little slower than I should at this stage, I believe. But nonetheless, it should help me when it comes time to stop. So a little brake applied now because we're starting to reach the marker. Okay, I'm easing it off now that we're down to about 20. Gonna try and put the entire engine in the marker. That's the objective I have for myself today. Put the engine in the marker. Success. So we're going to treat this like a red signal. We're stopping here and we're going to wait. CTC1 dispatcher to Acela Express 2167, over. This is 2167. Any good news? Over. The switch heating element failed and froze as a result. The work crew is going to thaw it out, but that may be a long process. The switch is properly aligned for a diverging movement, so you will switch to number 2 track here and then back to number 3 track at Carroll. Over. Well, why didn't you just... Roger, CTC1, over and out. No, seriously though, why didn't they just not bother me with this information and just say we're going to align you due to a switch failure. That's all they had to tell you. So we're going 45 now as our limit on this switch that we're now on. We're now going to start speeding up back to our ideal speed. Well, not yet we are. We're going to wait for the next signal to do that. We're still under a signal imposed 45. We are no longer under a signal imposed 45. It does take a second for the change limit to move over to the 125. As you notice, even though the train had updated to say we could go 125, we couldn't actually go 125 yet. We were still under the 45 temporarily. So now we can start speeding back up here. We're not going to touch the dial this time. Or maybe we are. We're getting pretty close to 125 here again. Yeah, we are still gaining nicely on this downhill, so we might touch the dial. We did it. But I had to bring it back because I did not want to speed past 125, so there you go. The downhill did make us touch the dial, and now I lost way too much speed. So we're going to go ahead and get some speed back. I mean, at this point we're going 2 miles every minute, so anything else is negligible at this point. Okay, we're going to idle it right here for now to see what happens. We're not on a downhill, so I'll put a level 1 throttle back on. 122 to 123 is ideal for this kind of travel. Again, if we were at a lower speed, you'd see me more inclined to want to stay at the speed limit. If we were going like 40, for example, I'd want to stay at 40. At a minimum, maybe 39.5. But at these kind of speeds, there's no reason to go all the way up to the full speed limit just to risk that speeding penalty. We're already going fast enough that we're probably going to make our timings no problem at that stage. So, unless they're not very well done. So, at this stage, I don't mind being a few miles under the speed limit. I, in fact, cherish that opportunity to not have to be at the speed limit. If scenario timings are so programmed that you have to be at the speed limit 100% the entire time, that's not fun. Put on a slight brake application to make sure we didn't cross 125. We're now down to 122 and 121. So I'll put that throttle back on. We are 2 miles from Bowie Track 2. We don't appear to have any track changeover speed coming up, so we're staying on track 2 for this. You see the lights of a station up ahead. I believe the track heading down to the Pope's subdivision is going to be exiting to the left right now. So the junction change right there. And there goes the track exiting as predicted. There's another one joining back in. So there was a Pope's Valley subdivision, or Pope's subdivision. So now it's a straight shot to New Carrollton and onwards. At some point, we are going to be slowed down again at New Carrollton. We're going to have a change back over track 3, so I fully expect to get a warning for the 45 in about 2 minutes or less. Might be an 80 actually at New Carrollton. I think it's an 80. Because of that, I'm not going to try to increase the speed back to 125 completely. I'll maintain the throttle for now, but if I find I start getting speed again, because I'm on a downhill, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and manage right now with the downhill, no throttle. I'm just going to coast, I think, from here forward, unless I lose a lot of speed. But I'm going to try just coast from here to New Carrollton. I will need to drop some speed at New Carrollton, of course. You see that the HUD rounds up compared to the actual speed on the display, so I guess it shows 116 on the display when it's the 116.6789, whereas on the HUD down below it actually rounds up to show 117. So there's our warning for the 80. I was expecting that. A little earlier than where I actually got it. Where I actually expected, I mean. But there's the 80 coming up on the HUD. Oh, this looks interesting. Oh, that sign looks interesting up ahead at the station. Okay, is this a new type of speed limit, just inconsistent garble? Like, what is this inconsistent garble speed limit? Looks like a 1. I literally can't read that. I think it says VAB. VAB. I don't know what the two further ahead combine to say, but I don't think it's going to matter in a moment because we know we're going 80. That's what we've been told to go. The train hasn't given us any other indication of a speed to go, so I'm going to assume that that's what we're going. We're in junction over track 3 right now. And don't know what this line is we're coming up to. Oh, there it goes. They all disappear. We get a fresh 100 up ahead. That one we can read. Because I know we're limited to 100 up ahead, I'm just taking my time getting up to that speed. I'm not going to try to rush this. You can see Washington Union Station is our next and final waypoint, so our stop at Washington Union Station is now in our agenda for 8 miles from now. At current speeds, we'd be there probably about 5 or 6 minutes at most. Because we're going to get slowed down in the Washington track area, it's going to take a little longer. We're currently ETA for about 8 minutes. We're supposed to be there in about 10. red light comes on the display to tell you we're changing speed. 125 is now our speed limit. Okay, maybe it's not just to say changing speed. I don't know. So there are going to be massive slowdowns ahead. We have to prepare for them. Big. See the highway over there, by the way? Nice. There's the 95 up ahead. So we're going to start bringing that speed down immediately. We're going to have a 45 soon after that. So we're now reaching the slowdown portion of the program today. Okay, don't lose that much. Keep a little speed for now. Thank you very much. 90 will do for now. We are early, no reason to go all the way to the speed limit. We're losing speed in this segment anyway because, you know, ETAs. Can't help it. There's the 45 up there. We're going to be given a warning for that in a moment. That's the thing about this train is you don't have to necessarily respond to the warning. You just have to do what you're told. So I'll put a minimal brake application now to start slowing down a little bit for this 45. I'll do a slightly more massive brake before we get to the sign. There's the warning for the 45. Slightly more massive brake now. Big. Oh, we have a downhill coming up. We're going into a 20, which is probably, I've seen a 15 on that sign before. I think we're going to treat that as a 15, just to be safe. We're being told to reduce to 30 now, but yeah, it's going to be slower than that. Got the 20 and the 15. Yeah, the 20 and the 15 are close enough together that I think I'm going to just treat that as a 15, just to be safe. Because sometimes the signal will flash a restricting at you. So slightly more massive slowdown again. There we go. No, lose speed. Lose speed. Thank you very much. Okay, we're down to 14 very, very early, I might add. I'm going to let the speed build up a little bit here because I went down way too early. You can see I'm losing a good amount of time on my HUD right now. Losing a lot of time here. I'm letting a little of that speed come back on just to help me out a wee bit. I mean, we're still a minute early, so we are okay. It's not an issue. So bringing it back down to 15. Now I think we have to hold within 15. Oh boy. Downhill's going to do that trick to me. I don't know what it is about night scenarios, but I feel tired whenever I play a night scenario. Why is that? Like, I want to go have a nap right now. I really do. So we're being given a green signal here, but for some reason our cab is flashing or restricting at 15. It says 20 in the cab, but 15 is what we're actually limited to go right now. So I guess by the signal we're allowed to go 20, by the track we're allowed to only go 15. So there you go. Now apparently this 15 is a track limit, but the signal still says 20. So I'm confused. I don't know which is actually true anymore. Okay, so I remember the earlier trip where we found a pole in front of us as we came in the station. I suspect we're going to see a pole again. Now again, it was near the end of the platform that we saw this pole. The ground has smoothed out, so we are going at a straight 12 right now. Slight increase. We're on a 0.2. The gradient is no longer able to change for us. We have to stay at the 0.2 gradient all the way through the station. Otherwise, the passengers are going to do some weird things. We've seen this on the on other routes. I think I actually remember seeing it on West Coast Main Line North on something before. I still have to play those for you on video because the quality of those videos was just garbage. So I have to do that whole series for you. You see the red signal up ahead at the end of the line? I did not want to stop yet. Do not stop. I think that's the pole. Or that's something anyway. Yeah, we're about to go through a pole, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to crash through that. Key rash. This will do for our arrival. So we have arrived at Washington Union Station, track 20. Doors are open. And we are about 53 seconds early, which is fine. Let's look at the train as we finish. And here we have another Acela Express getting ready to apparently leave, though the headlights are on the one in front as well, so maybe it just arrived as well. I think it's on the way out, though. I could be mistaken. But in any case, we're the one in the distance back there. And that's the end of our journey. So we're going to wait for our scenario screen to congratulate us, basically, and then we'll be on our way to the scoring screen to see if I duplicated my result, which I think I did. So as I stand by waiting for that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the video, subscribe to the channel to see more content. There's going to be another Washington-Baltimore video, and then we're going to have some rail fans at some point. Don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I might put them right after this like I did with Leipzig. I don't know yet. I kind of want to have a rail fan week as well, to be honest with you. In any case, excellent work. Secure the locomotive, and then your shift will be completed. Excellent. To the scoring screen. Frozen in place, completed for 1,000 points. Not much else to report here. We're just going to go ahead and call that a scenario. So make sure to tune in next time for the final scenario. I know the title of that one now is Maintenance of Way, so I can remember that title for some strange reason. But Maintenance of Way is going to be one of those humdinger scenarios that I believe has some weird stuff going on. I'm only making that prediction because, well, yeah, I've already played it. And B, It's the last scenario in the 6. So what do you expect? You expect to have some humdingers at the end of the pack, right? We're going to find out next time what's entailed in that. So make sure you come back for that. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, good night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure, again, like and subscribe and join the Discord. Other than that, I'll see you next time. That next video will start, if you're on the playlist, in 3, 2, 1.